Hello and welcome to the Federal. The Bharatiya Janata Party released its manifesto today, and we are talking to Dr. Shashikant Pandey of Department of Political Science, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Lucknow, to discuss the possible implications of the elections promises made by BJP. Thank you for talking to us, Dr. Pandey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, my first question is BJP is trying to achieve a target of 50% vote share, and it is evident from the manifesto because for the first time, the party has targeted truck drivers, domestic workers, street vendors, gig workers. How do you look at the strategy of expanding social and electoral base?
Actually, so far as this manifesto of BJP is concerned, see, they have already made many tall promises. This time they have promised to themselves, and they are trying to convince and woo their voters that we are going to cross this magical figure of 400, which has happened only once in the electoral history of India. Similarly, this time, they have come out with this their manifesto, and they are making claim that we are going to secure 50% votes. If you look at the recent history of the BJP, in 2014 they won 282 seats, 31.3% vote share it was they had. Similarly, in 2019, and that was the best performance of the BJP, they won 303 seats, and their vote share was 37.7%. So it's going to be definitely a Herculean task, to win. To get 50% votes, and more particularly when your influence is confined to the Hindi belt, because in Hindi belt there are around 214 seats, and where BJP has a very sizable presence, and in southern India there are around 132 seats, and BJP is has very minuscule presence, barring Karnataka. It looks a very tall order, but of course political parties make tall promises. Of course they are contesting elections, and this is a kind of a messaging to galvanize support and to mobilize their voters. Actually, what happens if a leader, or for that matter in the party manifesto, if they are making tall promises, then what happens, your cadres, they become very excited, and they work all out every day, day in and day out, so that they could achieve that magical figure. Otherwise, in this elections, I don't think it's going to be very easy for the BJP to secure 50% votes.
So, on the question of employment generation, BJP has promised expansion of the startup ecosystem, but it has not mentioned how many jobs it will create. Do you think BJP is on the back foot on the question of employment generation?
See, recently, since I work for the CSDS also, and I'm their UP coordinator, we conducted a pre-poll survey that appeared in a very famous newspaper also. So there, we asked this question from the voters, that what you have to say about inflation and unemployment. And for the voters, these are the twin issues that is going to be very, very important. Unlike pre-poll survey that we conducted 5 years back, where corruption and some other things were issues. This time, inflation along with unemployment is a major issue, which speaks volume about the non-compliance on the part of the BJP, because they made tall promises and which they have not been able to live up to. You know, it is up to the opposition now that how far they are able to capitalize on these issues, be it inflation or unemployment. So, of course, it is something where BJP is on the back foot, and uh, uh, they made tall promises. They are saying so many things in their manifesto also, that they are going to, do many things, but on the contrary, what is the reality at the ground level? The ground level reality is that post COVID, what we are witnessing, that many, even private companies or these MNCs, they are people are losing their jobs. So job is something which is a very big issue for the youth. And see the paradox: on the one hand, the youth is heavily, they are inclined towards the BJP in the surveys. On the other hand, they are quite disappointed with them when it comes to the job issue. So it is for the opposition to that how far they are able to make it an issue in the elections and capitalize on it.
So BJP was instrumental in the passage of Women's Reservation Bill and is now seeking votes from women who are nearly 50% of the voters. They have also promised to expand the Lakpati Didi scheme to from 1 crore to 3 crore this time. Yet BJP
Yeah.
has not implemented the Women's Reservation Bill and given one-third seats to the women. Isn't it contradictory?
See, so far as this BJP and the support of women is concerned, of course, BJP, if you look at the party and its history, initially it was a party, and which was labeled as a Brahmin Banya party, which used to have presence in urban pockets. Now BJP has expanded its base like anything, more particularly in North and Central India, and the reason is that they have penetrated far and wide in every caste, creed, region, and religion, barring minority communities. So far as women are concerned, I'll give you an example from Uttar Pradesh. In the last Vidhan Sabha election in UP in 2022, women voters, we conducted a survey, and women voters, especially from rural areas, they outnumbered urban women's in terms of voting for the BJP is concerned. So definitely, it clearly reflects that so far as BJP is concerned, it it was able to woo the women voters through its various scores of beneficiary schemes that they started. For that matter, this direct benefit transfer schemes or the Ujjwala schemes, or the scheme that you were referring to, the gas and the toilet and the housing schemes. So we conducted a survey, and what we noticed in 2022 election, that out of 10, 7 women, they were quite happy with the BJP so far as law and order is concerned. So what I mean to say, that women voters are quite happy. The way BJP has responded to its requirement. This is one aspect. So far as another aspect is concerned, strategically, BJP passed this women reservation bill, at the fag end of its term, in order to, give a message. Basically, nowadays what happens, that, messaging also plays a very crucial role. So in order to, protected, as they are the sympathizer, as they are the supporters of women, and of course it cannot be implemented right now, maybe in 2029 or something, that it is going to be implemented. But we will have to understand that opposition cannot corner BJP on this issue. Of course, BJP has also not given, seats, one-third seats to the women candidates. None of the other parties also given this much representation to them. So how can they can publicly, charge BJP on this issue? And another thing is that, so far as women voters are concerned, generally what happens, that we categorize as men voters, women voters. This is not the case. Basically, so far as women voters are concerned, women voters are not a monolith, and they do not vote as a group. They too are, divided like men voters, and they too vote as, as per their, caste, allegiance, class, and many other things also, work as a factor. This has been noticed. Of course, women voters are, now exercising more and more independent judgment in elections. That is altogether different. So this is what we are observing, that there may be a contradiction, that on the one hand, BJP is, making claim that we are the sympathizers of the women voters, and we are giving their representations and all. But at the ground level, this can be an issue. This can be made an issue. But unfortunately, none of the other political parties, they have given them enough representation, enough seats. And although one interesting fact, I would like to share with you here, that although it is said that women are not given seats to contest just because of the winnability factor, we have analyzed the data, the number of tickets that is given to them, and their winning percentage, it is not less than men actually. They you look at the seats, the number of seats that they are offered. So that is the case. And of course, BJP has made tall promises. uh, and seats they have reserved for them. But so far as reality is concerned, like many other political parties, they too have not given much, seats, or they have not reserved seats for them, as we see in this election. So there's nothing to surprise.
So we have witnessed farm protests in the past few years, and now
Yeah.
BJP has promised increase in MSP in its manifesto, but there is no legal guarantee as demanded by farmers. Do you think protests by farmers will impact BJP's election performance?
You ask about the farmers' issues and the discontent that is going on, the protest that is going on for quite some time, and the restlessness and discontent that we observe among farmers. And as you asked, that whether this discontent amongst farmers that we witness, can it be an issue in this election, and BJP will have to pay the price? You see,
True.
what I would like to respond to it, that as I said about women voters, same is the case with the farmers as well, because the farmers, we do not have a very strong farm lobby. We do not have a all India kind of group of the farmers. Of course, of late we have seen that farmers from different parts of the country, they are coming together and they are protesting. Last time, they were sitting in Delhi, and they were protesting for quite some time. But what happens, that they are not a solid group. Basically, what happens, that farmers across the country, someone is producing millet, they have different issues. In Uttar Pradesh, they may be cane farmers, they have different issues. So what happens, the even within the farmers also, they have different issues. And again, their allegiance also, it depends on their caste, class, etc. The rich farmers, they may be with the BJP, the middle range farmers. So that is also the case, that despite having issue, despite of late, we have seen that farmers are getting united, they are coming on a common platform, but still they are not a major force to reckon with, to influence the electoral politics, unless and until they establish themselves as a major force, a kind of pressure group. I don't think at the ground level it is going to make much, I mean, dent, so far as these parties are concerned. I'll give you an example. In last time to 2022 Vidhan Sabha election in Uttar Pradesh, what happened, that this protest was going on, and in Western Uttar Pradesh, even candidates of the BJP were not allowed to enter into many constituencies, and there were some serious doubts. I mean, by psephologists and electoral pundits, that BJP is going to lose in the Jat belt. But you see, the result were altogether different. So because of this reason, this time also you can see that Jayant has of very late, he decided to join the bandwagon of the BJP. Um, Definitely he would have done his homework, that if farmers are agitating, why he is joining the BJP? He would rather, he would, I mean, we can see that, he would have been facing safe in the company of India Alliance. So what I mean to say, that of course farmers have genuine issues, and they have been raising it, they are protesting, but I mean, they are not able to uh, come on a common platform, and they are, they have these parties, especially the BJP, they know for sure that it is not going to adversely affect them. And that is why, I mean, these farm lobbies, they are not able to, I mean, to put them on the back. Yeah.
So my last question is: PM Modi reiterated the stand of BJP on the implementation of CAA and Uniform Civil Code, which is being opposed by NDA partners. Do you think NDA partners will be able to stand up against the BJP, or they are too dependent on the political victory of BJP and they will follow the dictates of the party?
See, uh, its allies, especially in northeast, like in Meghalaya, Konark, Sangma, in Nagaland also. We observed that some of its allies, especially from northeast India, they opposed it, and their argument is that it goes against the idea of India, and it will end the special privilege that the tribal communities are getting. and therefore they are opposing tooth and nail that it should not get materialized. There are many issues also. Even minority communities have their own doubts. Then there are uh, opposition to it on the ground that why these 5 6 um, communities, Hindus, Hindus, Parsis, Jain, Buddhists only. Why not Tamilians? Why not some others? That is being included into it. So of course this is an issue. But so far as these allies are concerned, I don't think that these allies, they may be opposing it, because after all they have to cater to their own constituencies back home. So definitely they will raise their voice, but again they make political calculations, and they will go against the BJP only when they feel that back home they may be in a difficult situation, and they may lose the government. They may lose power. Otherwise, of course, in order to cater to their constituencies, they are raising the issues. But I don't think that they are that much capable and powerful that they would be able to convince the BJP to withdraw it.
Thank you for talking to the Federal, Dr. Pandey. It was a pleasure.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.